Hey guys, so I saw this picture on Instagram and I was like, I absolutely have to share it with my viewers. Would you believe there is a Nollywood movie titled Game of Thrones? Imagine that. I mean, it's so typical of Nollywood for them to come up with a title that's very popular and has something to do with America and Hollywood and all. I've never seen it, so I don't even know if it has something to do with the Game of Thrones that we all know. But hey, come on. Why now? Why? Anyway, welcome back. This is another episode of The Screening Room with Adenike. So I've got a packed show for you today, from movie reviews to interviews. I've also got a guest reviewer in the studio today. It's going to be an exciting episode, okay? So stay tuned.
Can you hear me?
Well, a lady was brought in here and she claims to be your wife.
Ah.
Alright guys, welcome back. This is still The Screening Room with Adenike, and the very first movie I have for you today that I'm going to be reviewing is titled I Will Be Done. It was produced and directed by Obi Emeloye. Now, like I told you earlier on, I have a guest reviewer in the studio with me. Her name is Lola Ogunbadejo. Hi.
Hello.
Lola is a TV presenter with OTV, a UK-based TV station, right?
Yes.
And she's
yes.
going to be joining me today in talking about That Will Be Done. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, it was produced and directed by Obi Emeloye, and it features
Ramsey Noah, Mercy Johnson, and
Mary Remy Njoko.
Exactly.
Yeah, those were the three major casts in the film.
Three protagonists in the film.
Right.
Yes.
So, do you want to tell our viewers what the film was about?
Okay, so the film is a very interesting one, I must say. The movie is about a pastor who finds out that his wife, who he thought was deceased, is actually alive.
Right.
And he is now remarried to someone else, and we just see how he manages to deal with that very complex situation.
Yeah, I thought it was quite an interesting storyline, but I'm giving the movie... Wait, what are you over 5? What are you going to rate the film?
I would rate it 3. I'll rate the film a 3.
See, I'm more generous. I was going to rate it a 3.5.
I'll rate it a 3, definitely a 3.
So what did you love about the film That Will Be Done?
The film is the storyline is quite engaging, I must say, because you're thinking, wow, does this kind of thing happen, and how would someone react if this was to happen to them? And I think what made it really stand out for me was the acting, especially from Mercy Johnson. She's a phenomenal actress.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, she was great. I loved her energy. I loved her passion. I loved her professionalism in the film.
Right.
I loved Mary's as well. Mary was really good.
Okay.
You know, I loved her emotional scenes. I've seen her before doing stuff like that, but in this film, it really captured me as an audience.
Right.
And I just thought she did a phenomenal job.
And I just want to back up Lola on that. The acting in this film was like A game. And I always say something that if you're working with A-list actors who know what they're doing, you cannot but up your game. You know, you have to work hard to get back to get to where they are, because you want to keep up to with what they're doing. So I thought this was what happened in the movie, because Mercy Johnson was at the top of her game and Mary had to play catch up. And then I would say Ramsey Noah was the weakest link in this film. Do you agree?
You know, Ramsey Noah, I do respect him. I respect his craft. I mean, he's a Nollywood veteran. He's been there forever. And everyone's had a crush on him at one stage of their life. But in this film, there were some points in the film where I just expected a bit more from him, and I didn't really get that. Okay. But I still think he's a great actor.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong. But I just was confused. You know, because sometimes when I watch films, I studied film and television studies at University of Nottingham, and there's a lot of things I look for when I deconstruct a film, and especially when it comes to acting. And once again, I definitely do think he's a great actor.
It is. Nobody's questioning it.
Definitely. But in this particular film, I kind of was confused about some of his actions.
Right.
Yes.
And then some of the extras in the film were not really, really that good actors. But, you know, we could roll with it because we're watching, they weren't the ones that were leading the film. They weren't the leads in the film, so we could roll with it. Another thing that I liked about the movie That Will Be Done was the directing. I thought Obi directed it very well. I thought he got the best out of each, the best it could out of each character, right?
Yeah, I think, okay, so Obi, yeah, he's been in the industry for a long time as well. Produced Last Flight to Abuja and then
the Mirror Boy.
Directed The Mirror Boy.
Yeah.
So he's used to working with kind of A-class actors and with great equipment, great cinematography. It was good. It was impressive. I did like the cinematography. Picture was clear, sound was crisp, and you could see that there were some shots that had been really thought about. So even when I was watching, I was like, okay, that was nice, the way they zoomed in and zoomed out. So it was just nice to see that, you know, people are really, as a director should anyway, taking a lot of consideration when it comes to particular shots and usage of shots as well.
I agree. I thought that was like the major part of the film that I loved most, in addition to the story. So by the time everything came together, it made it very enjoyable to watch. You know, it was very easy for you to enjoy it. The storyline was very easy to follow. It wasn't complicated. But even at that, I thought there were lots of negatives in the film. That's why I was gonna give it a 3.5 over 5. So I'm gonna say the very first thing I did not like about it was that the story is not particularly original. I mean, we've seen it before with Forgetting June, which was with Majid, Michael, and Mbonga Mata, and then we also had Being Mrs. Elliot with Omoni Oboli. You know, in both storylines, someone's spouse died, went away, they thought she was dead or he was dead, and then just came back and just showed up and just kind of spiraled everything out of control. So I didn't think the story was original.
Yeah.
So what else didn't you like about the film? Because you're giving it a 3 over 5, and now we're giving it a 3.5.
I think, you know, aside from, there was some parts where I really wanted Ramsey to really, like when he met Mary, who played his wife, for the first time after she had been gone for 7 years. I probably would have expected him to act hysterical, like you're seeing someone who you thought was dead.
Yeah.
And I think he gave a smile and he said, "You're alive," and that really killed it for me, because I just thought, no, that's not. It's been
realistic.
7 years.
It's been 7 years, and then she just showed up, and you're like, "Oh, you're alive." And
that's not. I didn't find that. That kind of ruined it for me.
Right.
I love you, Ramsey, but that ruined it for me. Like, I just wanted him to I wanted to see more how he would take that character and make him go crazy. Like, oh my God,
you know,
you're alive.
And then, kind of talking about crazy, you know, that leads me into another thing I did not like about this film, which was that, you know, there were they had continuity issues, by the way, lots of continuity issues. And then there were lots of holes and gaps and unfinished stories. Like, I don't want to give you spoilers, but there were lots of questions that were left unanswered. And then the ending was so predictable. It was so, I think it's very typical for you. I'm not going to say but I think it's very typical for Nollywood movies to make one look bad in order to justify the other. I think they made his decision very easy for him by making one look bad. And I was just like, okay. And it all just kind of became sudden, like, oh, I'm crazy. Oh, my dad did this to me. Oh, you know, I was like, okay, where is all that coming from? You didn't tell us all of that.
Exactly.
During the film. All right, so that's what we think, right? That's how we think of That Will Be Done by Obi Emeloye. Do you think people should watch the movie?
I think people should. It's worth a watch, actually. I did enjoy most of it, a majority of the film, so I would still advise people to go and check it out. Definitely.
I agree.